everyone, PJ here with Games Overboard. We were so excited for the interview today that we completely forgot to do our introduction. So this is me introducing the episode. So I first want to start off by saying thank you so much to Jason Blake for taking time out of his extremely busy week to hang out and chat with us. Expect to hear more of him in reviews coming forward, which we're really excited about. And yeah, just if you haven't heard of Jason Blake, you're probably new to the show. Go back and listen to some of our Seismic chats, our other interviews with him. He's a super, super, super cool guy, and his game is already one of my favorite games that's not even out yet. Yeah, you're welcome, Jason, for the added pressure there. I'm sure you're feeling it. But yeah, that game is coming soon, and it's available for late pledges now, so you can hop on the GameFound, and the link will be in the description of this episode, so you can hit this game up if you are interested. Yeah, I think that's it, everyone. Enjoy the show. This one's a little different, again, for those who are new to the show. We bounce around. Like, I didn't even prepare a script for this one because we've had Jason on the show so many times before that I knew that we would just kind of hang out and talk. So we talk about Seismic a little bit. We talk about other games. We talk about movies and TV and stuff like that. So, yeah, we just kind of hang out. So I hope you enjoy this episode. It's pretty chill. It's nice. I had a great time, and I just can't wait to hear what you all think about it. All right, so thanks, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye. So I was editing this, and I just realized, everyone, that the audio version of this episode has more content because we didn't record the video until like 10 minutes in or so. So if you want to hear the whole conversation, go listen to our podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, everywhere you get podcasts. But yeah, if you want the whole conversation, you're going to have to go there. You didn't miss much. We just talked about like the whole fundraiser that he did, which this episode starts with him explaining what that fundraiser was. So again, you won't miss too much there, but if you want to hear the whole thing, that's where you want to go. All right. Thanks. See ya.
Oh. Yay!
Okay.
He's
so
saucy.
Yeah, I know. Fine, I'll record it.
You have no idea.
So, for the listeners, do you want to explain the most recent update and the fundraiser?
Blah, blah, blah,
unless you're part
blah,
of
Jason. Blah, 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 seismic, blah, 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 tariffs, blah, 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 awesome community. That's it. All right, thanks for having me. I'm out. See you later.
All right, good.
I mean, that's it.
Good talking with you.
No,
fastest interview with them.
I know.
It's only 8:18.
That's great, because I have work tomorrow.
Be in bed by 9.
Wow.
Oh my god. No. I'll go over the. Let me just go ahead and pull it up, and I'll read the whole thing beginning to end. That'll be the 2 hours that.
Yeah.
So, no, the update was huge. Obviously, a lot of information was covered in there. The biggest thing, the highlight was, clearly the tariffs had gone down. I had put out this update to try to do like a fundraiser kind of scenario. People had reacted when the campaign first launched for Seismic, with the buying of the factions. There was only 6 of them available. And then, a lot of people had beat me up saying, man, I'll give you whatever. I had people literally offering me like, another $1,000 for another prototype. More people were offering me $200-$300 for factions, even after the initial 6 were sold. I just was like, gang, I can't do that. I would love to make 1,000 factions. Okay. I really would, but I just cannot do that. Yeah. And so, one of the things obviously that was on my mind was, as I was getting production and manufacturing numbers together, was I had sold the lower tier versions of the game. One of which was the core version, and then we had the expanded edition. The core version was $130. The expanded was $175, and so or $140. Sorry, $175, and that was really only there to satisfy a lot of people who didn't want the 6-player version. They didn't want a big box. They wanted to experience Seismic, but they wanted to do it on their terms. Which, crowdfunding is all Burger King. Everybody wants it their way, so it's just like, no matter what, I had to do that. And then I was perfectly willing to go ahead and manufacture those versions. But the more, the further I got along, and then with the tariff scenario, the more I looked into it, the more I was like, this just does not make any fiscal sense. This is horrendous. If I do this, I'm going to be in the hole already, which I didn't mind. But that was before being in a hole with the shipping fulfillment prices going through the roof.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the tariffs, which we all, I'm sure know about by now. So, so what happened is I went ahead and offered the idea to be able to buy a hex on the board, and all these hexes are different locations on this planet. And just like in the real world, I mean, everywhere has some kind of name, whether it's a country, a state, a city, whatever it may be. There's always some deterministic, identity for every geographic location in every place. So why not do something the same way? I mean, we're all, we're all humans. We've gone to this new planet. I mean, surely everywhere's been explored and everybody's named everything. So instead of me coming up with it, how about I let other people do that and really add to the lore of the game? So I hem and hawed about the price for over a week. I could not rest on a price. I had people at work telling me, "Oh, you're crazy. No one's going to pay, $20 for a hex." I had other people telling me, crowdfunding people are crazy. They're going to pay $100 a hex. And I'm like, no, they're not going to pay $100 for a hex if they were already dying to get a faction for $100. And I went back and forth. I had those hexes literally as low as $10 at one point, and I had them as high as 100. And I literally went back and forth changing it. And by the way, every time I changed the damn price, I had to go in and change every single hex on the constantly. There's not one global price. I had to go change it everywhere constantly. And I'm just like, okay, I can't change this anymore. I finally compromised with various people in my social group that everybody was just like, man, they said, go for broke. You're either going to get canceled and slammed for doing what you're doing, or everybody's going to love you and they're going to do it. Either way, you've got to come up with something. And I finally rested on $50. And even now, when I say $50, I'm just like, God, that is expensive. I mean, that's a whole game, it's a whole game in a retail setting. And I just did it because the thing is, I came up with $50 because if I didn't do something that high, then it wouldn't even make a difference. And if I did something, any higher, then I just couldn't sleep at night because I felt like it wasn't worth it. And if I did anything really any lower, the impact just wouldn't make sense. The amount of effort involved and the amount of changes and all the things that go into it, it just wouldn't even pay for itself. So I finally rested on $50 and I said, well, I'm either going to sell 10 to 20 of these, or I'm not going to sell, or I'm not going to sell any, or people are going to come out of the woodwork and buy them all. I literally never thought that anybody would buy them all. I'd never even thought that for a second. And so, of course, within like 12 hours, I think every single top level space was sold out. I still have a few devastated. Actually, the most I have left is devastated. I only have a few abyss left. I probably have less than 20 out of like 126 or whatever to choose from. So, yeah.
I really want to buy a devastated one and title it My Last Marriage. Like...
I was going to say something similar.
You won't believe, by the way, on the complete opposite of that, you will not believe how many people bought a hex to gift to their loved one.
Awesome.
I had several guys write me and say that they bought a hex for their wife or girlfriend for Mother's Day.
Oh my
God. What? Somebody else said they bought one and they're going to gift it to their wife for their birthday when the game is supposed to be shipping in August, and they said their wife's birthday is in September, and they're going to gift them a hex in this brand new game that arrives on their door. And I'm just like, oh my God, the amount of pressure I have to make this game come out perfectly is unbelievable.
Jason, you can't see it, but I'm slowly being attacked by a fluffy cat. Oh my God, there he is.
That looks very similar to my cat. I have 3 cats, and I have one named Nestle. all of my cats have candy bar names. So we had Kit Kat.
Of course, Kit Kat. Thank you for putting your butt in my face. Thank you.
I remember the story about Kit Kat.
Oh, so do
Yes,
I.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep, Kit Kat, and then we had Skittles. We still have Skittles and Nestle, and then the oddball one is Fluffles, which we don't have a candy bar name for Fluffles, but yes.
Hold on. I'm trying to come up with something here. Fluffernutter.
There we go. Yeah,
It's not really a candy bar. It's more
That's
like
a
a sandwich.
Yeah.
close enough. He's edible.
There you go.
What's that candy you pick up down at the shore?
Divinity.
Divinity.
Oh, Divinity.
Nice.
Nice fluffy stuff
sounds
there.
too rich
Yes.
for my blood. Yeah.
Ah,
I might burst into flames.
Fantastic.
Aha,
So
now
you're
someone
telling
else.
me we shouldn't have spiked his tea with holy water then?
I wondered why it was burning all over.
Nuts.
I was hoping it was, alcohol or something.
Is this a good look for me?
magnificent.
Do not like that.
So, my big question for you right now is just how are you?
Yeah.
Woo! Well, that is an interesting question, isn't it? Yeah, I'll tell you, it is a lot. There's a lot happening. As you guys might have seen in my Discord, I know PJ's been watching, but I mean, holy cow! I actually took off this week from work, not this whole week, but Wednesday, yesterday, and today. I took off this week to actually work on the game because I'm trying to finish it prior to going back to work on Tuesday, since I had a long weekend. So I went ahead and took off Wednesday through Monday. I have been laying out all of the final graphics for factions. I have been getting the rule book finalized. I've been trying to get player aids together, and then of course all of the cards and everything else. Basically, all the paper material. Everything else for the game is done, which is actually funny because that's the opposite of most other game production. Everybody else generally has their paper products and cardboard products done early, and then they're waiting on miniatures, they're waiting on acrylic, they're waiting on other things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All that stuff, I felt much more confident in all of that than I did the wording. So that's
For you, the easy part was that the game is fun. The game works. It's just now, how do we teach that game without actually teaching it?
Yes. So that's really a key, is that I'm trying to make sure that the experience, is as foolproof as I can make it, because the game has so much dynamics that, a rule book gives you the bare essentials for a game like Seismic. The game state as you're playing is going to evolve as people are playing, and those are the kinds of problems that you can't teach. That's more like an experience, and it's very, very difficult to try to put all those into words. And so, as PJ has seen in the Discord, I know a lot, me and Cyber Bruno particularly have been going back and forth. Oh my gosh,
he's incredible.
Oh my God, he truly is amazing. He is a worse rules lawyer than I am by 10 times. And every time I put something out, he's, and I made a joke about it earlier. I had some long text this long, and something about like the apocalypse. You can only do this action, if it's like the second Tuesday and whatever.
Standing on your head, you need 5 mutations.
Right. And then and then I put a little blurb by him that says, "What if it's a leap year?" It's like, come on. So yeah, I really am trying to really drive home the amount of nuance in the game that is going to be up to the players without them ever needing to open a rule book. So and that's a big challenge for a game like Seismic. It's
Are you saying this is a big game?
that's the rumor. It's slightly bigger than a
table hog. I don't know.
It's slightly bigger than a mint tin, just a slightly bigger.
It's okay.
Like a butter cookie tin?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like 10 of those.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was just
Fine.
just 2 or 3 tiles, right?
It's an entire Girl Scout cookie box, like case.
So it's going to arrive on my doorstep with a thud.
Nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Fork truck not included. So
So I don't know if PJ told you, but the last time we played the game, which was after months of starting it and then never finishing it, we finally did finish it.
oh,
And I won.
Yeah, and he's
Who,
been.
who were you playing? Do you remember what faction you were playing with?
I was blue. I can't remember.
You blue color, but yeah, I don't remember.
I don't
faction.
remember. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
color blue. No, I was gonna say wait.
This
they
is
had
one where you
this,
could
but no.
steal people out of prisons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you could steal
I
prisoners.
I could steal prisoners.
Interesting. That's actually a bonus action.
Oh, that's just a regular bonus action. Okay.
Yeah, it's a regular
Oh,
bonus
However,
action.
I've only
Did that.
we've only played the game 3 times. That's been a while since we played it before.
But
Oh, yeah.
we came back to it, and I looked at my board, and Matt's like, "Oh, I'm gonna win." I looked at the mat, and I went, "I only have to get 2 left, and all I need to do is build them."
Remember, that is also one of the wonderful things about Seismic is you can always look at the board state and think you could pick a winner. There is no way.
Yeah.
There is no way to gauge how far ahead somebody is. You could literally have all 6 blueprints and 5 modules built and not be in the running to win the game.
Right.
There's it just depends on what you're lacking and how many actions it'll take to get there. It
Right,
really
yeah.
is all about efficiency.
So I did have, and this is the second time I got this card where you didn't have to burn.
Oh yeah. Oof.
Second time I
frickin'
got
card.
that, I was like, "Ooh!"
It's the most controversial card in the game. In fact, I was seriously my wife was so mad at me because I had literally ripped up the card and thrown it out of our own copy because I said it's just too much. It's just too much.
Wow.
It literally breaks the game in my opinion beyond all the other game breaking mechanics. I think it breaks the game. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep it in there. By the way,
I
I'm gonna
understand
keep
that,
it.
but it really saved my butt because the first time I had it, it was like awesome. I can see, and I still lost.
Oof.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and that's a little unheard of for this type of game because when it comes to this style of game, I kick these two's asses all the time.
Nice.
But of our 3 games, I have the 2 wins.
Yeah, you still have the 2 wins.
Dan has 1.
Nice.
Yes, and when you realize that you're not going to win, you just start mining the crap out of the planet.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to take you guys with me, one way or the other.
Exactly.
I'm just a serial crusher.
He is. He is. He's notorious for just going, "Oh, you're getting close to my base. Lift everything up and destroy you."
Yes,
Yep.
rather
If you don't
quietly.
sink, I'm going to run you over.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It pissed me off every time he does it.
Stop
know,
bringing your
I'll
people
tell
over
you.
to me.
It is so crazy. I literally never could have predicted that when I came up with that as our general rule. Never could I have predicted that would become such an offensive unit with the colony ship at conventions. When I tell people, usually when they kind of start getting a feel for the game after about a turn or two,
Yeah.
whenever they start realizing when somebody comes too close and they can run somebody over. That's like all anybody does at conventions now. That's like one of the most fun things. People love it.
Well, to be fair, I did get one on PJ with that too. That was shortly after he wiped out my army. He's like, "Oh, Dan doesn't have anything." Dan's coming. I'm like, "What do you? Why? Crush?" He's like, "Why? You did it to me.
Nice.
Why wouldn't I do it to you?"
My favorite was I had this card where you could just kill everyone in a hex.
Oh, I hate you.
Oh yeah.
I was locked in combat with one of his mechs and 2 of his soldiers. And then I had another card that let me disengage. So I did that and I pulled all my troops out. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it." And I just nuked that spot.
Oh man, nice.
When the dungeon master smiles, it's already too late.
Exactly. That is fantastic.
Arr.
I really cannot wait to hear about the experiences when the game finally lands on doorsteps. The amount of pressure at this point after making it this long, after getting it produced and getting everything ready. I mean, we are seriously only about 10 weeks out. I mean, it sounds crazy to think about, but we're about 10 weeks out of it having on the doorsteps. And man, oh God, the amount of pressure. I was going to joke in this last update about everybody's so invested in this journey now. And I never could have predicted this. I never could have had any clue that this was going to be this was this was going to be the crowdfunding experience that I would have. But man, I'll tell you, the idea that if this game sucks, after all the investment, after all the emotional investment that everybody has in this campaign and in me and the game, and people are saying this is their most anticipated game, and even today, I think somebody in the Discord was like, "Man, you putting all these factions in the Discord makes me want the game now," and I was just like,
those MD and me, yeah.
"Yeah," and I was just like, "Yeah, me too."
Fast forward 12 weeks from now,
I feel like
the
it.
game's overboard. This game sucks.
Exactly.
I'll stick to
Oh,
the digital
man.
version.
Why did I get this?
Exactly.
This Jason guy's a
God.
moron.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I just can't wait to hear these reviews of like, "Man, Jason, you're cool and all, but this game sucks." You know, it's just like, oh my god, it's just gonna
Yeah.
be terrible. I'm gonna die.
Well, I distinctly remember even every week. I think it's I forget what they call it. Like board game breakfast or something like that. The Dice Tower does.
Oh yeah.
And they do like a weekly roundup of like, you know, what's coming up this week in crowdfunding. And when you came up, Tom Vassel's like, "Man, I really liked that game. Like, I'm gonna have to back this one." So I'm curious.
I couldn't believe it too. Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. He did.
He
He's a-
did.
He's a backer. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Dice Tower's a backer. I could not believe it, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
let me tell you who else is a backer. This is private information. This is actually wild. I'm sure you guys know who Efka is.
Yeah.
He's a big time YouTuber.
I love
over
his
in,
videos.
Yeah, he's over in the UK, and he is a tough cookie. Like he is a really hardcore critic.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, my heart dropped. I thought I was dead. He backed at core, and I was just like,
Oh,
my
no.
God, I gotta send this email to him and go, "I'm so sorry. I can't give you this game." And I wrote him. He actually bumped up. He did it, and he actually he and I exchanged a quick back and forth email,
Mhm.
and he just said, "Hey, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't normally do this, but," he said, I love this journey so far. I hate big, massive productions. I only wanted the core game, but he said, "Yep, I'm in." And so I could not believe it. And he is one of the toughest critics out there. There's no doubt.
He hates Hoplomachus.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
he
like
hates
him then.
Like, he
most-
hates Hoplomachus.
He hates most heavy games.
Heavy game?
Like not heavy. Actually, not. It's not heavy, but by
Large games.
conflict. Yeah, conflict. Big buckets of plastic.
Yeah,
He
I was-
actually told me
And
as much.
swingy games.
I was gonna
Games
say,
that are
'cause,
really
like,
That
swingy.
could be
I
heavy.
wouldn't call Hoplomachus a heavy game.
Have you tried to lift
Except
the whole
physically.
thing?
Physically, it's a heavy
Yes.
game.
No,
I think
it's
physically.
it's the swinginess of the game
Yeah.
that he doesn't like.
He likes much more like he likes deterministic Euros much
Yes.
more than big crazy
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, it's because he's European.
Or if there's like a way to mitigate the dice rolls and like adjust them or have stats that the dice rolls interact with, you know, like D&D, he would like it more. Like that's his big thing with Hoplomachus is there's too much randomness, too many variables.
I think that's what makes it more, enjoyable. You have to
the
keep
chaos.
going back.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole appeal with rogues and roguelike games is, video games is like, oh, well, that was unexpected. That's never happened before. I guess I got to try it again.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I agree.
I love his videos though. The way that he's able to explain why, those games don't work for him and everything. I'm like, I get it. Like I totally understand why he feels that way. And like I respect his videos, I respect him and his taste and everything. I love his stuff. So that's really exciting to see that that he's in this campaign too.
Yeah, I am deathly worried because he will clearly be reviewing the game, and I have no idea what to expect. I mean, again, this is not normally his game.
Yeah.
I think it's very. I do think it's a little out of character based on what I know of him.
Yeah.
So you just I don't know if he was in because of the campaign, meaning like how it got a little hype or whatever. I don't
The
know if he.
updates. Hamburger and economic update.
Maybe. You know what? I actually need to go back and look at when he actually backed, because if he backed right after one of the viral updates, either that or the Minnesota Killjoy update, both of those updates.
That's still my favorite.
Oh man, it went through the roof. Both of those updates were just crazy.
Do we have something for him? For
What's
Minnesota?
that? Yeah. He's a faction.
He's a faction. I thought so.
Yeah, he got voted. Everybody voted for him as a faction. So yeah, you'll be able to. And his faction is wild. I was working on that actually tonight, right before I got on with you guys.
Oh yeah, you lend people like resources or something like that, right?
Yeah,
you take
and
them all
then you
back.
slowly take them back over the course of the game. Yes. Oh man. Oh yeah.
And then when asked, why did you do it? You can say, well, because I wanted it out faster.
Yes, exactly. It is one of those like, oh man, it's gonna be tough to play that faction for sure, but it really is so dramatic. And people need to know, they're gonna need to know the backstory if they play as that faction, or else they'll have no idea why this faction works the way it does.
Well, that's the good thing, is that everyone who owns a copy should know about it. Should. So I mean, should be so then they can explain around the table like, oh, you gotta understand this here.
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
It's about as bad as you cracking your knuckles right in front of you.
I know, right into the microphone.
You could take off the windscreen and do it right there.
Glug, 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 glug.
Oh God, we haven't done that for a while.
I was really hoping we were done with this.
Not a snowball's chance in Hades.
Yeah, how's that green tea there, Dan?
It's pretty good. I wish I could drink some more of it. I think this is the first time we've done this on video.
Probably.
Yeah.
I feel like Jason is highly amused.
We're highly amused.
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
So, Jason, tell us more.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
the one time he did that, it slowly seeped out of my
oh
nose.
God. Oh yeah. Oh,
It was not fun.
oh yeesh. All of Arizona in your nose, I'm out.
Nah, it was a little wet, not as dusty as Arizona.
Oh, jeez. God.
Oh man. So
Are we gonna tell him about our conversation?
sure, go for it.
Oh no. What did I walk into?
So we were talking about
No, BJ sends this message. What time was that? 6:15. Okay. So start thinking about questions you'd like to ask Jason when we chat today. I'm gonna think of some in the next 2 hours. And my response was, remind me who he is again?
And mind you, I'm driving home
Oh my
while
God.
this is going on. I reach over, hit play, and what?
Then BJ says, yeah, we haven't really talked too much about this game before. It's a little indie title. I said, oh, Tremor or something like that?
Good Lord. You know what? I am taking the launch button out of your copy. I am opening up. I'm flying to China. I'm going to grab your copy off the assembly line, and I'm taking that launch button. I'm going to be like this.
But then he says, yeah, definitely something about seismic activity. Tectonic? That sounds about right. And Dan says, all right, Quake.
Good Lord.
BJ says, yep, that's it. And I said, oh, wait, Quirkle. Oh, no, that's a tile game.
Oh my God. No launch button for you.
It was a great time.
Launch button Nazi?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Launch button Nazi, that's right.
I was only allowed to back the deluxe edition by Shanna because of the launch button.
Ah.
She's going to be sad to know she's not going to get it now.
I know. But that's an even more fun story.
Wait, just make sure his is defective.
Right.
this says
right.
lunch.
Yeah.
It'll be the lunch button, and when you hit it, it's Weird Al's Girls Just Want to Have Lunch.
There's no such thing as a free launch. Oh God.
You click it and you hear Jason say, "PJ, you must pay me $5."
Yes.
No lunch for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you told me today you're expecting that all the paper stuff should be done by the end of the week, you're thinking, and then off to the presses?
That's what I'm hoping. So
Wow.
I am trying to get, it's going to be tough. There's still the rule book is going to be brutal because clearly I am going to be making kind of an early draft, based on the existing one. I am going to ask for some feedback in the Discord channel, talking about tell me your favorite rule book, tell me the kind of order that you like to see things in. Do you want all the components up front broken out into modes? Do you want all the modes independent in the back? So I'm going to be asking a ton of questions, lots of feedback from everybody. Also things like, what's your favorite rule book? What rule books have you found the most clear? And then what I'll do is I'll go download those same rule books and look at their layout, look at their terminology, look at how things are laid out.
Yeah.
So
Can you
the rule book
please just download the Dinosaur Island rulebook and don't do that?
Yes.
No, no.
I have many
thing.
many examples of what not to do.
That too.
The thing rule book, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
that
yeah,
was really
absolutely.
bad.
Very bad. Great game.
I seriously,
Bad one.
I can't play. I still to this day have not been able to set that game up because of the initial double layout page setup is so wrong on so many levels.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
still haven't gone online to go get the right one.
Oh, there's a little one-page front and back setup guide that I found on BGG, and man, we played the game twice because the first time we played, we didn't really know what we were doing and all that, and it kind of fell on its face. And then we got back together a week later and we played it again, and man, that second game was so good.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good.
I literally still have it sitting on my shelf unplayed because I tried to set it up twice. I tried to set it up the week I got it. And as soon as I broke everything out, punched everything, had it all laid out on the table, kind of separated. And I opened the rule book and I'm like, all right, let's set this up. This will be cool. And then I was like, what? And then I started looking, I'm like, well, that's not there. What do they call it? That doesn't match. I couldn't even get through half of the setup before I'm like, I'm done. This is horrendous. I even went to BGG thinking maybe they'd put out like a PDF errata or whatever. Nope, not at the time. So I was like, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah, there's stuff
Tried
up
to
there
set up
now,
a
and
second
it's
time.
so good.
Yeah,
You
I
do
tried to
what-
set up a second time, and it was just as bad at that point. So I guess I need to try it again.
You could do what other people do and just close the box and take it somewhere and sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost did. It was on a sale file. I almost did.
Yeah, I really recommend giving it a third shot because wow, it's
a good game.
It's probably one of the best hidden trader games.
It looked great. Yeah, it looked great.
Then we need to have a
Especially-
game. We'll both set up boards and we'll
Now,
Yeah.
okay,
We can move each other.
here's a question. Here's a question. Which version of the thing? Because there are like 3 different thing board games out there.
Right.
I have all of them.
Oh, okay.
But as soon as Matt was talking about that rule book, I knew exactly which one you were talking about. So yes, the other one is a much lighter. The other newer thing game, Infection at Outpost 31, is a much lighter version.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the one I was looking at.
Yeah.
I like that one, and I have that one literally right next to me over here. The other thing that I have, which is the one, of course, that was a train wreck of a rule book, is further over there. I forget the name of that one. But
It's
that
just
one
called
is
the thing,
actually-
the board game.
Yes, that one
Yeah.
is actually licensed for the movie, and then the Outpost at 31 was the Thing property, not the actual movie.
Right.
So, but anyway, yeah. So and then there was another one apparently that was prior, and I think I may have that one in this room somewhere.
I forget what the third one is, but I definitely remember a different one.
Yes, that's
the board game.
that is the one. Yes.
I'm gonna hand that to you, PJ. Oh my
I
gosh.
feel like I'm in a Spaceballs movie.
Oh, but we're not rewinding or trying to watch and catch up.
You couldn't
Yeah,
just put it back?
No.
Hey, can we fast forward?
Wait.
Only when Dan speaks. It's just-
When is
That's us then. This is us now.
Wait, when?
We're now.
But this is now. But when did that happen? Just now.
Just now.
When will then be now?
Soon.
Fantastic.
God, I love Mel Brooks.
We need to do that movie too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
You guys
And his
find anything?
companion, Puke.
It's barf. Puke, barf. What's the difference?
Pizza the Hut.
You guys find anything? Man, we ain't found shit.
Which Tim Rush still can't live down to this day.
Indeed. Love it.
One man there gives me raspberries. Lone Star.
Oh man. So how did your Cthulhu Wars game go the other day?
Oh yes, I finally did get to
man.
cruise through the messages and see. Holy
Wow,
freaking
yeah.
crap, man!
8-player game.
You got a lot of stuff for that game.
Oh my gosh, it is absolute insanity. Yeah, that game was a total freaking blast. I ended up winning that game. The out of the 8 players.
Who did you play as?
I ended up playing as oh my gosh, hold on.
Chocho, right? Weren't you Chocho?
Chocho, yes, Chocho. That's right. Your memory's better than mine. I've slept since then. So yes, I played as Chocho.
I only remember that because you recommended Chocho, and everyone else in the Discord was like, "No, we hate Chocho."
I don't know why. I love Chocho. It's so. Let me tell you, the idea that you are sitting there every time somebody does a ritual and they have to either take one less point or give you a point at the same time. Oh man, everybody at the table was so pissed about that. And every time, everybody, I was just like, hey, wait. Do you get 3 points? Or do you get 4 and I get 1? And every time the look on everybody at the table was just like, oh my God. Most people were giving me, were not taking, or they were taking 1 less to keep me from not getting a point. But 3 people gave me a point throughout the game. Everybody else did not. I won by 2 points. And one of the people that gave me those points was the one who was only 2 points behind me. And I said, there you go. You shouldn't have given that point to me. So yeah, it was rough. But yeah, I ended the game in the middle of the action phase, which is something you can do if you go ahead and turn over all of your ritual tokens. And so that was another crazy thing. Me and this other guy, in fact, that guy who got 30 points and I got 32, I flipped over 4 ritual tokens. He had 6 and he had not flipped them yet. And I was like, oh God, but I had pulled 3 3s and 1 1, of which there's only like 5 or 6 3s in the entire bag. So I had pulled 3 3s. I had 1 1. He had nothing but 1s and 2s. He flipped over his. I flipped over mine. I had 10 points. He had 8 points across 6 tokens. And I had 10 across 4. Wow. And I took the chance thinking that there was no way. And I figured even if he had 9 across 6 tokens, I thought maybe I might take them. And sure enough, I did. And I ended it right at the beginning of his turn. He was about to go and he was about to draw more tokens. And I ended it on the guy right before him in turn order. And I was just like, no, don't go. I'm done. This is it. And he was just like, what? And I'm like, I'm doing it. He's like, you only have 4 tokens. And I'm like, I'm doing it. And so I flipped them. Everybody else flipped theirs. And sure enough, I couldn't believe it. And everybody on the table was like, come on. It was good. It was fun.
Oh, geez.
So yeah, that was a great game. 8 players, and we still did it in less than 3 hours. So
Nice.
that game really travels fast, even with that high of a player count.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Highly recommend.
Pause. Goodbye.
Sorry, she had to take a phone call.
Oh, man. Well, my next question for you, not board game related at all. What was your thoughts? Now, Dan hasn't seen it yet. I don't know, Matt, how much you care about it. What were your thoughts on Alien Romulus?
Oh, here's the thing. I'm actually okay with Alien Romulus. So here's why.
I liked it
There's-
except for
there's
the final 10 minutes.
Oh, this is a movie.
Yeah.
I thought the scene where everything was in anti-grav, I thought
That
was
was
actually
cool.
fairly clever. I thought
That
that
was
was very cool. the fan service was overdone. I didn't need the android saying, get away from her, you bitch, in a really stupid manner.
Yeah.
There was a few other over the top fan servicey moments. I was perfectly fine with Ian Holm being brought back as the android. I had no problem with that. In fact, I thought it was well done. But people online went crazy, like I was okay with that.
But wait, was it actually Ian Holm or?
It was not Ian Holm.
Because he passed away
years ago. Yeah.
Yes, like 20 years ago.
No, it wasn't 20 years. He just passed away.
Oh, it's
a year, maybe a year or two ago.
Oh, I think
it wasn't
a
year or two.
Time ago.
It was like 10.
Yeah, I think it was.
Stop messing with my mind.
Time travels a lot faster now.
Oh yeah, it's pre-COVID. So think about that. It's either ago? PC or BC or AC.
See, I thought I was already here when he passed, but
I don't think so.
I don't know. I do know it was quite some time ago because his estate was talking about giving access to him,
rights to his likeness and stuff.
Yeah. Let me see when. 2020. It was actually it was in COVID. Yeah, during COVID.
Okay.
June of 2020.
Okay.
So not 10 years, but certainly more than.
But it's getting there.
Yeah. So yeah, and of course the guy was great. I think he would have been fine with it. It was just obviously these days it's very controversial about whether whether AI and graphics and all that can revive actors, and I don't know. In my opinion, and Dan, you can chime in on this from your background. I mean, the way I feel, you are selling you as a product. When you're an actor, in my opinion, you're selling your likeness, you're selling your talent, you're selling your mannerisms. Right. You are selling you as a brand, and you have become a product when you are at a level of being a Hollywood celebrity. Exactly. In my opinion, that you are no longer in charge of your own likeness. You should basically make peace with the idea going forward that you are a product and you are a brand. So that's the way I feel.
I don't fully agree with that. I feel that there are things that you have to be okay with, like you said, when you make it to that level of notoriety. For instance, privacy. Thanks a lot, Dick. Cat just kicked over my cam. When it comes to privacy, unless you're really, really good at blending in and being nonchalant, don't expect it.
Right.
Also with that, if someone comes and asks you for an autograph, don't be an ass.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah.
But when it comes to using your likeness and everything, there are some things, especially when it comes to AI. If it's one of those things where I'm still alive and they want to make me younger, okay. But you're going to pay me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And again, I don't think anybody has been taken advantage of without due
but
compensation.
This is where that starts to get. This is where the argument comes into play, because corporations, and that's all I can call them anymore. I can't call them studios. They're corporations. Sure. They all have parent companies. They're all conglomerates. They don't care about you. They don't care about art. They care about money. And they want to make the most of it with spending the least amount of it. And a lot of that comes down to, well, I'm going to make them sign a contract, and now I'm going to take their likeness, and I'm going to use in every single thing that I want just to get more money. And you have no say in it. And as a background actor, that's something that has come under fire as well, where they say, oh, we'll just scan your image, and then we get to use you to fill out any scene, do whatever the hell we want, and then guess what? I don't pay you again. I don't have to. And that's where all that shit comes in, where I say, no, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. Clearly,
when it comes to the estate thing, in my case, I'm dead. I don't care.
Right.
Like, I don't care. Now, if a relative, family member says, well, no, because your contract wasn't with us, it was with him, you're not going to give us that money. Or you're going to give the estate a much smaller chunk of change than no. Like, I don't agree with that. That's something that if the family member says yes, okay, that's fine. If the remaining family says no, fuck you, I don't like you, I don't like what you've done, I don't like what you're going to do, then you got to stop.
Right. So there's another side to that I think that is more worrisome as somebody who has also been on stages and being involved with, you know, having some kind of public persona. You know, I was a YouTuber for a while,
Mhm.
and
I distinctly remember some commercials you sent us.
Absolutely, yes. So I worked in media. I did a ton of TV commercials. Of course, I was a YouTuber for a long time. My likeness is all over YouTube still. I've been doing, you know, I've done stage stuff. I mean, you know, I would love at some point. I really do have a little bit of a deal set up where I'm trying to do a pitch for a seismic miniseries on Netflix or Apple or something like that at some point in the
So
future. I would
great.
love to do that. Yeah, don't forget about me. So, you know,
I can still do stuff, man.
but you know, the thing is that these days, and in fact, just this week, I watched the Google I/O event where they introduced VO3, which is their new AI to video engine. It is incredible. It is absolutely incredible. And the bigger problem now is that when you say, for example, particularly being like, say, a background actor, a background actor is basically all but gone. I don't think that there will be a future for people being extras anymore. Extras can absolutely be generated in the background at the drop of a hat. I generated some myself. It is horrible. I'm right there with you. I'm an artist. I'm a creative. I don't like this, but I will tell you that if you have to roll with the times and technology. You know, every time some major breakthrough has happened technologically, you know, there's always an outcry. You know, when Photoshop became widely accessible to people with a home computer, you know, photographers, people who had literally made their entire career, you know, were done overnight. And if you go back even further, you know, you go back to, say, the silent movie era. You know, all of these, you know, when they came out with talkies, you know, all these people who had a beautiful, you know, facade. Their entire appearance was based on, you know, these extreme mannerisms and everything. And then suddenly you put them on a, you know, in a movie that actually uses their voice, and then their voice sounds like, you know, chalkboard, you know, chalk on a chalkboard. Suddenly they're just like, they're out of a job.
Yeah. So you think like, oh, that's a manly guy. Look at him, and he talks like this.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, you know, there's always going to be people who have a part of them that is, you know, that is sellable, or that is being able to be monetized.
Right.
You know, that, and then when technology takes a leap, suddenly, you know, there's going to be a small group of people affected. And I think AI right now, you know, there's a place for it, and I think you have to roll with it, because I think under the circumstances, I'm a techie guy on top of being a creative, so I'm constantly at odds with myself. So, you know, I want to use all these new tools that are out there, you know, but at the same time, I'm just like, God, no, this is like, it's stealing my creative thunder, my power. Right. You know, people can, like, you know, basically generate a board game in ChatGPT now. You know, it's like, I spent 8 years, I could have done it in a weekend. You know, so it is wild to think about. But the idea, I think now, particularly if you are a viable source of a human being on camera that is better than one being generated in the next 10 years, then you are the product going forward. Right. And clearly, when you were talking about things like, you know, lack of compensation, those kind of things, that's going to, you know, that's a whole different problem, clearly. And that still happens even with extras and other people already. But if you are going to be presented as a person on camera, a person who is selling their physical likeness. You know, Mark Hamill has made an entire living out of the original Star Wars contract that he did back in 1977, where he said, I want one of every merchandise with my likeness on it for the rest of forever. He had no idea what he had signed. You know, he literally has entire storage buildings made up of things that have his likeness on it. His Star Wars collection is you know, basically unsurpassed, you know, for particularly Luke Skywalker. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So you know, there's an upside and a downside, and of course, and the downside is I think that sadly actors are going to go from literally millions probably down to 10,000 as far as jobs go, because I think you're going to have to be a notable major individual who is doing things that AI just can't replicate in say 10 to 20 years, you know.
And even when I was out there, you know, it was hard to get anything.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it.
I did pilots, and the only pilots I could get were things like investigation discovery. Like, great, you know.
Did you speaking of AI stuff and movies? Did you guys see that headline about the UFO Sweden movie?
No.
Do you know about this?
No.
I haven't heard anything about
dude.
this.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so incredible. So, there's a movie. I think it's either called Sweden UFO or UFO Sweden. Okay, it's an actual Swedish movie. It was filmed, made, financed, all in Sweden. All the actors are Swedes. They're all speaking their native language throughout the whole movie. Netflix picks up this movie, right? I think it's Netflix. I could be wrong, but Netflix, I believe, picks up the movie. But they want to open it up for larger audiences because clearly that's, you know, a language that most people don't know.
Right.
So they do an experiment, and this was 2 years ago. They started this experiment. Every single actor goes into the studio, re-records their lines in English with a very heavy Swedish accent, and then they go on to the finished movie, and they re-lip sync every single person with the new voice with English, and it's indistinguishable. That movie right now exists, and it's absolutely incredible. It's a huge experiment. There's big stuff online about it, and the entire movie was basically redubbed with no subtitles, with the original actors redoing the mouth movements and redoing their own dialogue. Wow. And they didn't have to reshoot a single film or a single scene. So again, there's a place for AI, which means every single person in their native language now can make a movie for their audience, and then with minimal effort, literally redub the entire movie in any other language and redub the physical movements of the characters to match full lip sync on camera. And everything is basically done. And I guarantee you that will be automated, I would bet, in the next 10 years. You'll be able to see any movie in your native language.
See, that's when you do something like that, that's a useful tool, but then, you know, now you're cutting out people that do dubs.
That's right. You're right. And I'll tell you, it's going to be part of it's just going to be part of the exodus of people changing and moving into different careers. And it's a sad situation. I just don't think there's any way around it.
It is. See, something like that, though, I can see as being useful. Something like digitally scanning somebody as a background and then using them infinitum, that I don't find useful at all. I find that detrimental to the industry as a whole. And
I agree.
Again, it all comes back to the fact that the studios are too big. They need to be cut down. We need to go back to the days when we had Fox fighting with, you know, RKO, and then you also had Paramount, Warner Brothers, but like you also had First National Pictures. I bet you guys don't even know who that is, do you? First National Pictures and Warner Brothers did a joint effort, and they created one of the greatest films of all time. That movie was called Casablanca.
Yep.
And that's actually who Warner Brothers got their lot from. They were sharing it with First National Pictures when that movie was made.
Can I just say that I would like to say that I'm so shocked that you were talking about movies when I got back.
I started that.
Yeah, PJ, it's all PJ's fault.
Back to games, though.
Yes, let's talk about games.
Yes.
Is that what we're here for?
Yeah, all right. So this one,
Game. Well, I mean, it kind of started by games based on a movie.
yeah.
Yes, that is true. Now we're coming full circle.
Yes, full circle.
Yeah. So I got
PJ.
really excited Sunday over something, and it probably isn't going to be anything now that I talked to Jamie Stegmaier about it.
Wah, wah.
But I don't know if you watch his videos on YouTube or not.
I
But
do from time to time.
Okay,
yeah.
so he posted one saying, pick the next game I design.
Oh,
and
yeah.
one of the games he has like he had like 20 games of like ideas in his head, and he's like, they're all just ideas. That's it. Like I don't even have anything on paper for most of them, and one of them is called Colony Ship.
Yes.
I was like, hold on, wait a minute.
Yep.
And he was talking about how like it'd be asymmetrical and it would be like competitive but with shared economics. I'm like, oh, that's not really like Jason, but my brain kind of turned off when he said all that. I just heard colony ship, asymmetrical. I'm like, hold on. And so I emailed him like, hey, hey, you know, like I know someone who has this other has an idea just about it, you know, maybe you team up. And he's like, from what you describe, it's not what I'm looking for, but if he wants to make it like that, I'm certainly willing to listen.
Let me tell you a funny story. I submitted Seismic to Stonemaier Games as a pitch.
I remember
in
you saying
2018, I believe, 20 something like that, 2018. And he actually told me that they do not do basically conflict games of any sort.
Yeah.
Any kind of conflict game that, you know, he is out on. And so I'm not worried at all. You know, the game that worried me that came out on the market about 2 years ago, that really did kind of like, you know, man, it jabbed me in the ribs. I was like, oh God, was this game called Evacuation? I don't know if you guys saw that. Did you? It is literally about leaving one planet and going to another with a bunch of ships. But you had these two boards right next to each other, and one had a planet that you would go into orbit on, and then you would slingshot around and go into the orbit of the other planet. But it ended up being a pick up and deliver game. I was like, what? And I played it at a convention. And I mean, I was like so worried because I was like, oh my God, it's called Evacuation. There's a big ship on the cover. There's a planet falling apart. And it's made by a very famous designer. And I was just like, oh God, you know, man, everybody's going to think I copied that because this came out before I launched, you know, the second time. And I was like, oh God. And then I played it. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not worried.
But my pitch to you now is Seismic 2, which is your colony ship idea. You know, maybe
that is true. I would really like to get that one off. As soon as possible. I'd like to get that one moving.
So a few weeks ago, PJ, I told you about my idea for that game that I wanted to do, based on the 1980s Cola Wars.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I was like, oh my God, and then I looked it up. Son of a bitch!
New Coke.
Somebody is doing it. And it's supposed to be out sometime next year.
If Michael Jackson's hair doesn't catch on fire, then I'm out.
But well, no, I would also make sure that the hand gets burned.
I
so you
haven't
always
thought
have to wear a
about that
glove.
in years.
Yeah, that was the Pepsi commercial.
Yeah, I know.
That's right. You said the Cola Wars, damn it.
But I looked it up. Like, okay, what's the premise? Their thing is, oh, you're a security guard. Never mind.
like guarding the recipe.
Yeah,
or
you're guarding the recipe and you're doing espionage. But my idea was
building the empire.
You build the empire, and then you're like,
yeah.
Like it, of course, you have to be careful. You can't use Coke and Pepsi. So like,
Yeah.
things like Joe's Cola or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You change the recipe.
I'm gonna
And
be
then-
the empire of Popsy.
Yeah. But like, you change the recipe and then you change it back to get the people back and like do stupid stuff like that, like they really did. You know? during
Yes,
the-
absolutely. Yeah.
Like
I mean, you should. That would be like a great game mechanic. You come out with a new recipe, and then there's like cards that determine the feedback from the
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean,
Like, okay,
that would be a blast. Yeah.
I can still do this. So like other things like that. Maybe put a little bit of espionage in there, you know?
Sure, yeah. Steal ingredients from from rivals, stuff like that. Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea.
I think it'd be fun. Here, Matt's over here like, oh my God. Matt, you'll love it.
No. When you've been through
The Cola Wars?
no corporate espionage,
When you've been in the shit.
exactly.
I remember
Yeah.
where I was.
Yeah, I
The
remember
fizz was an inch thick.
and eating
That's
the
what she
glass.
Here's a 1,000-gallon stare.
The day the tanks exploded.
You couldn't breathe for the amount of CO2 in the air.
It was me and 5 guys dropped into the building to get the recipe.
Only 2 of us made it back. They threw cola bombs at us. Stuck
I still have parts of aluminum cans in me.
Those Cola Wars, man, they weren't anything to laugh about. Kind of reminds me, like, man, this is what would happen if G.I. Joe actually took their job seriously.
Fantastic. Instead of dog tags, you have that little tab hanging on.
Yeah,
the
that's
chain.
right. Now I feel like we need to have somebody as like the evil Cola, just constantly yell Cola. I love this. Andrew's like, what the
Fantastic.
fuck is wrong with you? Cola Commander, come on.
I love it. I love it. Good Lord. We're all in on the 80s.
I was gonna say you can tell I'm a product of the '80s.
So am I, and I'm more of like a '90s person
You're
than
barely
an '80s
products
person.
of the 80s.
I know exactly.
I grew
I
up
have
with
no
two older
memories of
brothers,
the
and
80s.
that's all we did was watch that stuff.
Yeah.
Like every Saturday morning, it was G.I. Joe, and then a recap of what happened on WWF the night before.
I'm more a product
Fantastic.
of the 80s than you are.
Yep.
I was born in the
There's
middle
this
of them.
guy.
I know, then there's Matt.
Yeah, then there's Matt. Damn whippersnappers.
That was through the shit.
You don't get to
remembers the
talk.
neon.
Yeah. I went to the theater and saw Empire Strikes Back in person.
Did you have the Trapper Keepers? I had the Trapper Keepers. I love those.
Oh
things.
God, Trapper Keepers. Yes.
No, The Empire Strikes Back brings a very vivid memory of being in the back of my parents' Pinto.
Oh geez.
Drinking.
You're lucky to be alive.
Yes, I am.
Tab?
No.
Oh.
Oh, God, no.
Dang. It was
Damn.
Yeah, Tang.
That's from the 70s.
Close. Crush orange soda is what was in the
Alright, there you
cooler.
go.
All right.
Close enough.
Crush was good.
Yes, it is.
And it was an igloo cooler sitting in the car to put out the fire whenever somebody crashed.
That's right. That's right.
The things you didn't know when you were 5 years old.
That's right. That is exactly right. God.
I still miss my station wagon. I love sitting in the back of that thing.
Fantastic.
Pickup trucks too.
Oh
That
my
was the
god.
best.
Oh, yeah, when you used to be able to sit in the back
In
of
the
them
bed.
going the road.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling all over the place. His dad's taking a sharp
Yeah.
turn.
Yep. Been
These
there.
kids don't know what they're missing.
Oh yeah. So seismic.
Yes.
Is that what we're here for?
Yeah. That little.
Are you sure
little
that's
gem.
what it's called?
I think so.
It's seismic. Sorry. I
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
correct you.
It's a weird spelling though.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Does it have something to do with the San Andreas Fault?
It's not his fault. It's my fault, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, he's the one that can't spell.
Don't blame San Andreas.
So, yeah, where was I going with that?
I have no idea.
The minis look amazing.
Oh yeah.
The
Man,
sample
aren't those
minis.
Yeah, they
Yes,
Um,
those pictures were awesome.
Yes, and I heard wash samples were on the way, like will be coming soon.
Ooh.
They're on the way. I am
that's cool.
supposed to. Yeah, I'm waiting on some stuff right now. They did send me a few new videos and some other little pictures, but they were all basically the same stuff.
Yeah.
The videos were too big to throw on Discord, and the pictures are all the same. So I'm waiting to hear back from them on. They were asking me to finalize colors, and they were showing me the actual Pantone colors that all the mini plastic is made from. They were doing the final plates for the blueprint tokens yesterday. They texted me, emailed me, and then they also said the final plates for the fracture tokens are also going to be done. The fracture tokens, oh man, you know what? Believe it or not, I know I was really excited in the updates about my metal relic tokens, but what I am most excited for, because it's the thing that everybody who has been in person seeing the actual samples I've gotten from Longpack, the thing that is the most excited, or that gets everybody the most excited, is the bag with the fracture tokens. The fracture tokens are all acrylic. They are beautiful. I mean, the printing on them is absolutely gorgeous. And when you put your hand in there, there's just that, that rattling sound of like almost like marbles. And everybody's just like, they just grab the bag and they just sit there and do this. And I'm like, stop it. You'll take the printing off. Stop it.
playing with my sack.
Exactly. So,
That tickles.
So anyway, yes, it is. I am most excited for everybody to get that particular component with all of the fracture tokens in it.
To get their hands in your sack.
Yeah, I think that's
Yes,
what
I
got
can't wait
Elmo
for
in
everybody
trouble, though.
Yes, exactly.
So be careful. You don't want another Elmo on our hands here.
Yes, exactly.
Tickle me.
Yes. Did we ever figure out what was up with that purple mech?
Yes, I don't know. I brought it up again actually because they were trying to ask me. They sent me another email with all the same pictures, and they said, "Hey, we're still waiting for you to approve all this." And I'm like, "I'm still waiting for you to get the purple mech correct, because I am not approving anything until I see the proper purple mech."
Like everything's a beautiful purple color, and then there's like
And there's like somebody
lavender.
sucked all the color off. Yeah, it's like, what is this, a Jolly Rancher mech that you had in your mouth for 20 minutes? No, that's not going to fly.
I'm sorry.
I told him. Yeah.
Henry over there got hungry, and he decided that looked tasty.
Exactly. I'm
He
just
loves
like, no. So I am waiting. I sent another email out to them after they asked me to approve everything, and I literally did tell them, no, I'm not approving any of that until you acknowledge that mech is wrong. So because they literally sent me 2 emails, and I've sent twice back like, hey, yeah, everything looks great, very happy, except that mech is all goofed up. What's going on there? Second email they come in, don't acknowledge anything about it. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, what about that purple mech? And then they send me another email. Hey, can you go ahead and approve all this so we can move forward? I'm like, what about the mech? So, yeah.
I will not give you an answer
keeps
until
on
you
giving.
fix that mech.
Yes, exactly. So I am waiting to hear back from them on that. I'm also waiting to hear about their proposal, or like my proposal about the freight invoice and the unit price to hopefully reduce some of the tariffs so I can get this thing to everybody without literally going bankrupt. So,
Yeah.
So I have a proposal for them basically that kind of creates this elaborate, it's kind of a test. It's like a market focus test where I basically say the unit price is based on 100,000 units, because if the test market for seismic is really, really good, then I will tentatively commit to 100,000 units if everything goes really well. But you need to price this one at the same unit price as if I bought 100,000 units. And then if it doesn't go well, then, oh, shoot. So we're going to see if they go for that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out if they'll kind of go with something similar. I don't know. We'll see. I have a bunch of legalese in there to make sure we're all protected, but we'll see if it goes over. I don't know.
Yep, that's right. CYA, man. CYA.
Yep, absolutely.
Did they think that you wouldn't notice that it was a different color than everything else?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the mech.
I just pulled it up on our screen so
yeah.
everyone could see it.
Yeah,
It's very clearly
like-
not the same effing color.
that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, guys, what is going on here? What, you don't even, like, they sent me the initial pictures and didn't even acknowledge. They're like, oh, by the way, the mech is weird. No, they're just like, here's everything. It looks great, doesn't it? I'm like, no, it doesn't actually. There's something wrong with the mech. And so, yeah, they won't acknowledge it. I don't know what's going on, but I did not approve anything until they acknowledged the mech.
These damn Chinese people.
My 5-year-old's here. Hey, buddy, what's up? Is your tooth out?
It didn't come out yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't want that to.
Oh, okay.
I'll pull it.
Well, don't put it on my apple. No, it's coming out from my apple.
Get over here. I'll pull it.
Our friend Jason said he'll pull it for you.
I had to pull my daughter's
No.
tooth not that long ago.
I remember just yanking my own out.
I did too. I don't know. Kids
And
today.
like, not like, it wouldn't be like, oh, tie the tooth around,
oh yeah,
tie
no.
the string around and close the door. I'd just be like, ah, and just yank it.
Yep.
I mean, if
totally
you didn't
did.
do it, you had brothers that would do it for you.
I just
well, you had a
fiddled with
brother
it.
that would do it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe would be like, ew, blood, My oldest brother would be like, "Yeah, come here, yoink."
He'd punch you in the face.
Yeah, he'd do that
Most
too.
likely.
We still do that.
That's true.
Nice.
Well, we don't really want him to lose the teeth now, though.
I mean, he taught me how to do a proper uppercut and
Uppercut.
Yeah, uppercut. And I did give him a good uppercut. And he's 6 years older than me. He raised off the ground, and then I ran because he chased me around the backyard. So when he finally caught me, I got hit pretty good.
She didn't throw a dart at his head.
I didn't throw a dart at his head. No, that was Joe. That was our middle brother. Did you ever hear that story, Matt?
Yes, I've heard that story, and it's not a dart. If you're going to throw something, get a lawn dart out, man.
Oh, we did those too.
Come on.
Nice. A jart.
Those things are fun.
Actually, I think I still have a setup in the storage in the garage.
Nice. Nice. See, that's again, kids today are too coddled. They wouldn't know.
That could come in
Yeah.
handy for us on Sunday.
Oh yeah, it would.
Kids these days, I tell you what.
Tell them.
Do I need to go look for them?
We're throwing a party for my mother on Sunday.
Oh my god.
Do I need to
these
go look
kids.
for them?
If you want.
If you didn't take a lawn dart to the skull when you were 8, then you didn't live.
Well, I mean, if you survived, you didn't live.
I'm just fine, thank you.
Also, if I remember correctly, you also got a frying pan to the face thanks to your sister.
No. Back of the head.
Back of the head.
Back
Well,
of the
even
head.
better.
Nice.
Maybe you shouldn't have scared her.
That one incident, just so you're aware, I have two sisters, both younger than me. And I had one on one end of the broom for whatever the reason. I forget what we were fighting about. And the youngest one, thank God she couldn't lift up a cast iron frying pan or I wouldn't be here, gets up on the chair.
That's what happened.
KJ knocks me off. That was a great representation. Thank you. And just right in the back because they had seen Fried Green Tomatoes about 2 days before. I hate that movie.
No. Nice. Fantastic.
See, that's how my brothers and I were. It was always 2 against 1.
What?
The guitarist's ass behind him is distracting.
Oh. That's a great game if you haven't played it. You need to play it. It's a fantastic game.
I've seen it around.
What's it called?
I don't even want to say it in this group because oh god, it's just gonna go south.
No.
It's called Rock. It's called Rock Hard.
I don't know why you think that's not safe here.
Yeah, I know.
Just give me a few minutes.
I thought I was in a safe space.
This is a safe space. We did find Dan's knob.
That's true.
At least you don't have a copy of Night Shift behind you.
Oh, geez. No, if you have not played this game really is fantastic. It's a worker placement game. It's there it is, Rock Hard, like 1977. So it is very, very good. It is a worker placement game. The money in this game. Okay, raise your hands if you hate paper money.
Mhm.
If you hate paper money, everybody hates paper money, right? It's the worst. The money in this game is the best paper money ever made. It is. It really looks like money. Somebody
I
came
love
over
it.
the first time we played this game, and by the way, every bill is slightly different. It's
Oh,
it's
wow.
I see
all,
that.
like all of them have stains and like little lipstick on it, and then like some of them have like little marks on it. I mean,
Coffee
every one of
stain.
these,
Oh, that's awesome.
and they are just close enough that whenever we played this game, somebody had thrown some real cash on the table for paying for pizza that night at the on the game table. When I went to pick up the game, I grabbed that money and just threw it into the stack and threw it in the box. And I forgot that this game had money that was so close to real money. I didn't even realize that I had thrown pizza money in the box. It was incredible. Very, very cool game. Highly recommend it. I had very low expectations for this game, and it is quite good. It is a keeper.
You had me at worker placement.
I was gonna say.
It just means I'm gonna win.
Well, and let me tell you too. The other thing about the game is that the game is sold retail. In fact, my wife actually bought that for me for Christmas at Barnes and Noble, so you can pick it up most gamey-ish places. I don't think you'll find it at Target or Walmart, but you can find it almost anywhere else. But anyway, in the game, you're trying to be the best rock star more than anybody else. You have candy in the game.
No,
And
it's okay.
that's
It's
how-
nose candy.
And that's how you get to do extra actions in the game is if you take candy. And if you take candy and you take too much candy, you can go into a sugar coma and then you have to go to rehabilitation for your sugar addiction at the beginning of the next round. Anyway, it is fantastic. It's a press your luck mechanic built in with the worker placement mechanic.
Wow. Okay, so
Fantastic game.
if I take this nose candy, does that give me the option to completely destroy an entire hotel room and then take the TV and throw it off the
There are
balcony?
cards. There are cards in the game that let you destroy hotels. Yes, there are
See, that
cards
was-
in the game.
That was the Who, wasn't it? Who did that?
Oh my God, there's endless now, but I think Who was known for it initially. Yeah,
We need this game.
it's
I
good.
really
I do
want this
recommend
now.
it. It's relatively cheap. I think you can get it for like $40-$50 at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. Good stuff.
All right, we gotta find this.
Yeah. I've seen it. I know I've seen it online at like different game sites.
This
So-
Tremor guy knows his shit.
Wait a minute.
Can't spell, but man.
That's not Kevin Bacon.
Oh my God, amazing. That's Mr. Trimmer to you.
I'm not afraid of you. What are you gonna do to me? You're a
Hey,
whole time zone away.
These two have been talking about pitching in to buy him a plane ticket to get him over here. So
Fantastic.
Hey, I said we should do that with John Garcia and take him to do miniature golf.
Hell yeah. Now hold on, I just have to know, is that Tremor like the movie or is it Tremor?
Oh, well, I put a picture of Michael J. Fox next to the mechanics. And,
Try to
too
be clear.
soon. Too soon. Oh my God.
What sounds there are people that
just
wouldn't
giddy
get
with
that.
excitement.
So I will say, so I just learned this a few days ago. You remember the movie Mars Attacks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes, I
So-
love it. Freaking Jack Nicholson in that is
He
amazing.
was just so Michael J. Fox was just showing signs of his Parkinson's when they were filming, and he was the news reporter.
Yes.
When he first sees him, like you could see that his tremors were starting to like show really bad on
Oh
film.
man.
So they kept the take and they just went, "Oh, he's terrified. That's why he's shaking."
Oh wow. That's wild.
And like I remember watching it and like being completely oblivious to the fact.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, of course, at the time, nobody knew.
Yeah,
right?
nobody-
I mean,
oh, and-
I don't
and
even
the-
know if he knew.
So the Nicholson thing. Do you know why he had two parts in that movie?
Hmm.
When he signed up for the role, the studio said, if you have Nicholson, you must not kill him. You are not allowed to kill him. So Tim Burton said, well, fuck you, I'm going to kill him twice. So he gave him two different roles and killed both of them.
Oh my God.
Just to
Amazing.
spite the studio.
Tim Burton is amazing.
And Nicholson was on board. He thought it was hilarious.
Wow.
Do you guys have anything for Jason? I've been asking everything.
You have been asking a lot of questions.
I have been.
No, I'm just really excited to get this, get this out there. I'm really excited to.
Yeah,
hear-
better live up to the hype.
Yeah, PJ, it better.
This will be my last time on the show. They'll get that name and they're like, oh my God.
I don't think so. If
We
this,
waste our time with that guy.
if this turns out to be a total shit show, we'll have you back on. Then we'll berate you.
Just as a post-mortem, yes.
Prepare
Be
for
like,
this.
We have
Get
Jason
that
here.
jackass back on here, yeah.
We have our now ex-friend, Jason.
God.
Thank God we didn't get
Will
enough
you
money to
explain
fly out here.
yourself? Yeah,
Jason, you have some explaining to do.
indeed. God.
No, in all seriousness, though, like, we've played the game 3 times now, and I played co-op with you, and
Oh yeah.
the game is so good. Like, regardless of anything else, you know, like, we know that the game is good, so when we get it in our hands, we're gonna have a blast with it.
I have
I
the
hope.
feeling that anything negative that comes from the game, from the community, is going to be minimal compared to what you're going to see in positivity.
I think the negatives are going to be things that were advertised from the start. It's a big game.
Yep.
Really, like, crazy asymmetric powers
Yep.
that are gonna feel unfair to some people, you know, like,
Yep.
all these things that were just, like, advertised from,
Right
the,
from the
start,
start.
you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyone who has a negative with it, either they're playing a friend's copy or, you know, I don't know why else.
Yeah.
Either they weren't on board and fully informed to begin with,
Yeah.
or they got it as a gift.
Yes.
But honestly, if you wanted the game, why would you give it as a gift? Just keep it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I'm worried, and I'm not. You know, I mean, like you say, I've taken it to so many conventions. The stupid thing's been play tested literally close to 1,000 times between me, you know, friends and family, and conventions, and then of course online on TTS. I mean, it's just endless. And of course, every time that I hear, you know, people talk about it or you know, play it, I make mental notes. I go back and I'm like, yep, I remember how this didn't go well. I remember that needs to be, you know, fixed. This needs to be slightly modified. Even with some of the guys on Discord, you know, when I make these tiny little tweaks, you know, everybody's like, there was one where the Chris of Death, the faction that he's a cult leader, and so he does not care about his people at all. He's literally using his followers just to get him off the planet. He doesn't care about who he leaves behind. So that particular faction, he does not have to roll the humanity die to leave. He can literally leave all of his followers on the planet and launch with no consequence.
Yeah.
And so the biggest problem is if that person plays the game, and then of course they do get to the point of where they can launch, then they end up, a lot of times they will win. And so I actually posted recently that now they still do have to roll, but they only fail on one side of the D6. And that is basically like it's total, like their consciousness, just their conscience won't let them leave. And so now there's that, there is, you know, they still have an advantage, but it's not so ridiculous that, you know, that it's basically an instant win. So I think that helps.
Yeah, and stuff like that, you know, it's making things a little more fair, especially since it's a ridiculously asymmetrical game.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have a lot of negative feedback from this. And when you have a game that PJ and I can pick up and figure out pretty quickly with what you have already given to us, you got yourself a pretty solid game, because let's face it, we're idiots.
I was going to say something there.
You didn't think they'd understand it, right? That's
I
why
mean,
you
I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
I'm just going to distance myself from Dan at this point.
It's probably for the best.
Undoubtedly.
Helps with the smell, too.
It smells.
No, it smells.
So one of the things, though, I will tell you, one of the things that I'm mildly worried about is, you know, people getting it and then they're going to look at the game and just go, oh my God, I won't be able to learn this. It's too much. But, you know, I've never seen anybody have that much trouble learning the game after about 2 or 3 turns. Yeah. And usually by then, everybody's got a good handle on it. So my biggest fear is that somebody may get it and then just look at the box and then look at the rule book. Because, of course, I'm going to be obviously overly legalese with my text in the rule book to make sure that there's no problem. But I am worried that when somebody looks at the rule book and starts reading or whatever, there's just gonna be, oh my god, I don't know what to do, and then they won't try it. And that's actually one of my biggest fears, is that it's just going to be too daunting initially.
Yeah.
But I've taught people, and I talk about this still. I've taught people that there was a 10-year-old that played at this convention. She played at 8 years old, and then she played again at 10 years old, and understood the game. And I'm just like, what,
Perfect.
what pod did you hatch from? I mean, a 10-year-old, this is not, clearly not a normal 8 to 10-year-old who played this game, but the girl was very into it. She understood what she was doing, and literally she almost won.
She's
And
the one to
so-
record your how to play video.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, she and I taught her at the convention. I taught her on the fly, and of course, when she sat down, I actually felt really bad at first, because I'm like, oh, that's cute. Go on now. Because there were a bunch of other people around the table, and then and it was of course a bunch of adults and everybody sitting around the table, and I'm just like, oh gosh, this girl really wants to play, but I'm like, oh she's not gonna be able to get it.
Yeah.
So we were waiting for this player to come back to the table, and so this girl was saying, I'll play, and I'm like, okay, I'll help you, let's go through it. And so I started just kind of giving her the brief overview, and she's like, oh, okay, yeah. And I was like, do you get it? And she's like, oh, yeah, I got it. And I'm like, okay, do you know what a colony ship is? And she's like, yeah, it's like a big spaceship where everybody gets on to go from one place to another. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, do you know what a module is? Like a part? And she's like, is that the things that you slot in the ship? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm just like, are you going to teach me my own game? Like, what is going on here? So anyway, yeah, I taught basically an 8-year-old to play the game. And then, of course, the story I love to tell is the group of teachers who was friends with my wife, who came over. All of them had never played any modern board game whatsoever. And I had them all basically cutting each other's throat at the table by three turns in. And so again, I think that's a major source of pride, is to have a game the size and scale of something like Seismic to actually be picked up relatively easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say I've learned 2 games today, and one of them was Arc Nova, and the other one was Thunder Road Vendetta. And and so Arc Nova was we're gonna have to cut this short soon. But Arc Nova, the difference between the two that I loved, the difference between the 2 rule books is that I love when a rule book has your turn is this, and there's 5 steps,
Yep.
And then Arc Nova does not do that, and instead it's this huge book. And I bought it secondhand off Facebook from this couple, because they're like, we bought it because we love the theme, we want to build our own zoo, we saw the rule book, and we're like, nope. And they closed it up and sold it.
I don't blame them.
Yeah. And I looked at it, I'm like, dear Lord, how'd this game get to be number 1 on BGG, or way up there on BGG for a while? This is insane. But once you start playing, it's like, oh, this is all I'm doing. I have 5 cards, and I'm just I'm just moving it down the river, so to speak, to activate it. I'm like, all right, this is pretty easy. Why doesn't the rulebook say this?
I completely agree, by the way. I had somebody, when the game first came out, I had somebody come over and try to teach me the game. Literally 2-player, not even in a full setting, just 2-player, me and her. She brought it over, and she's in my game group. We both play heavy games, Lacerdas, that kind of stuff. She had only watched a video, and she had kind of opened the box and kind of at least got herself familiar with components. I had never even opened the box, didn't know anything about it. We were 2 hours into this game. We'd only taken 2 turns, and I still didn't get it. I'm just I don't understand. What are all these symbols? What are all these cards? Why are there two tracks to move on? What is, how do I get this? I need this thing, but I don't even understand where to get this. It was a train wreck. And then when I later played it, I was like, oh, this is all you do. And again, you're saying, it was
deceptively simple.
It really is. But man, I still do think that the cards, all the crap on the cards was almost a bridge too far. I do think that. Yeah,
there's a lot. When you have to have a glossary and a reference sheet that's 2 sides, and all the other, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, and I thought the reference card for Hoplomachus was bad.
I know, right?
I didn't. I liked it.
I gotta go get Sophie and Shanna. So you guys keep going, and I'll be back.
Okay.
Or do we want to wrap it up?
I have to work tomorrow. So
we should probably wrap it up. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I gotta get back to work on
You're
faction.
probably exhausted anyway. Yeah, working on factions. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Matt's
Jason,
busy training the cat.
Yeah, I'm busy training the cat, but I do want to say this to you, Jason.
Yeah.
First off, your game is the first and only thing that I have backed ever. Thank you for being open. I
Holy
have
cow.
enjoyed the community that you've built, and I don't get on very much, but it's like, hey, so this is how this works. So yes,
Fantastic.
thank you.
Thank you for that. It really, I mean, Matt, I can't tell you what that means to me. Seriously. I try to respond to everybody. I try to talk to everybody and all the comments and all the emails and everything, but every single positive feedback I get is seriously, it's just absolutely incredible. I really do appreciate it. It's
Oh my god.
If his head weren't attached,
TJ
he'd
just
forget
said bye.
that. Yeah,
I don't know if you
Oh.
can see that.
oh, is he leaving? He's got to go.
He's leaving.
he's leaving.
He just
Gotcha.
crawled under a table and then almost forgot his keys.
Yes.
Oh my God. Fantastic.
Ugh. Now that he's gone, we can talk about him.
Yeah.
Then you can find it later.
Man, and that PJ guy.
Oh my God.
He's
And
the
that
worst.
dress.
You know what his real name is? Paul. Oh.
and that dress and those shoes.
Ah. And the hair.
Wait a minute, didn't we have him in a dress at one point in time?
Oh, the things we do in
Oh,
theater.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Fantastic.
Well, I think that's going to be the end for this interview. You know, we can sit here and talk to you for hours, but PJ's
Oh, yeah.
left. I have to go to work tomorrow.
Yes. It's a
thank
holiday
you.
weekend.
It is the holiday. Well, I mean, holiday for everybody but me. Don't ever
Except for
work in a
me.
hotel. Don't ever work in a hotel.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, is that supposed to be a violin? Because I can't hear a damn thing.
Yeah.
That's when you get the big one out.
Right,
Do
right.
that.
So everybody that's listening to us, thanks for joining us on this episode. You can catch us on Facebook, Games Overboard. Check us out on gamesoverboard.com. Check us out on Instagram. Always send us emails. We love to hear your feedback. If you want to hear more stuff about Seismic and Jason here, go ahead and check out the Discord. You can find it under the Seismic page. And check out his
Are you sure
stuff.
about that?
Yeah, I think I am a little sure. And you still have the Kickstarter up, right?
The
not
Game
Kickstarter,
Found. Yeah,
Game Found. Sorry, Game
Yep.
Found.
Game
you
Found
can
is still up. You can still
take a
even
look at the
pledge.
game on Game Found. You can still pledge, which is absolutely incredible. It's awesome. And you say we're hoping for 10 weeks, right?
10 to 12 weeks. Yeah,
10
that's
to
what I'm
12
hoping
weeks.
for right now. It really kind of depends on manufacturing at this point, but yeah, we are very close. Very, very
Ah.
close.
That is so awesome. I know that we're excited about this. I mean,
Are you sure?
Just a little, since we, how long has it been now since our first interview with you? 2 years now?
Oh my gosh, probably 2 years. Yeah.
So we've been talking about this game up for 2 years. So
Yeah.
the fact that we're getting this close to having it in our hands and on this table,
Yeah. Gosh,
it's
finally.
so
Yeah.
exciting.
What's it called again?
I think it's
Tremor?
called, I think it's called Quake.
Trimmer.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was- Made by
Fracture, actually.
id
Sorry.
Software, right?
Fracture. That's a good one,
Yeah,
too.
that's like
You're part of id Software, right?
fault line. Yeah, that's
Our apologies, Jason. Sorry you have to deal with us.
Oh, no, I mean, he gives it as good as he gets.
He does.
You willingly came here.
That's true.
Yeah,
I think he
well,
likes us.
then
or something.
that puts him in the category of glutton for punishment.
Man.
That's right. I
Especially from us.
flogged myself to feel for fun. I figured this can't be any worse. So.
Nah, not at all. So that's all we have for you tonight, guys. Thanks for joining us, and peace out, Cub Scouts.
Take care.